Today we're going to make date pinwheel cookies. It is a soft, chewy brown sugar cookie that is rolled up with a smooth date pecan filling. There's a little crunch from the pecans, a little savoriness from the dates, and a little sweetness, and it's just a beautiful pairing. Let's get into it. So, step one, this is a standard creaming method, this cookie dough, very simple. So we're going to go ahead and take our butter and is it softened? No. So we're going to go ahead and just soften it a bit, give it a twirl about, maybe hit it with a blowtorch. Stay tuned. Okay. Set her aside. Now it's time to cream. So we've got our butter in there, obviously. If yours was, temp, so if it's like soft and pliable, but maybe still a little cold, cool, you didn't have to do that. So now we're gonna add our dark brown sugar. You know these are gonna be good. This is going good places. And we're gonna go ahead and start creaming that in. So I'm gonna start on low. It's a lot of dark brown sugar. So we just wanna make sure we start on low and turn it up. I'm gonna give it a scrape. There's lots of brown sugar just like chilling about, doing its thing, which is not cool because today it does my thing. All right, go ahead and just give it a scrape. Okay. All right, flip that up. Great. Let that go for a second. While that creams, we are going to whisk together our dry ingredients. I've got AP flour. This is called cinnamon. Wow, Lindsay. Cinnamon, baking soda, and kosher salt. Whisk. Great. Done. Check in over here. What do we have going on? We've got, it's a nice paste going on in here. And we are gonna just add our egg. Yeah. Moving right along. Boom. In she goes. Fabulous. It is a silky smooth paste in there, and we are ready to add our dry ingredients. So go ahead and just add that, turn that to low, and we're gonna start adding our whisk together dries. Slowly, you don't wanna overwhelm the batter, ask it to do too much too soon. So just kind of as you see most of it incorporating, add the next round. And we're done. Really simple cookie dough. Now, you could chill it in the bowl, of course, but to help ourselves out later when we have to roll it, we're going to think about that, and we are going to chill it in a rectangle. So that's what we are going to try to do over here. You can see that it's not like the hugest rectangle that I've just made, but she'll do. Okay. It will also help it chill faster to be flat and in one even kind of layer. So that's our secondary goal here. 2 hours to overnight. You could also prepare it up to 7 days in advance. Fun fact. Now, while that chills, we can go ahead and prepare our filling because we're gonna need to make it and cook it and then let it cool. So we're gonna go ahead and add chopped dates. I use medjool. I don't actually know how to pronounce that, so we're just gonna skip that. Chopped dates. Oh my goodness, get in there. So sticky. So delightful. Sugar, because why not? And a bit of water. We're gonna go ahead and pop this on our stove over here. Like medium. You want it to slowly kind of absorb the liquid. Just go ahead and kind of stir it up. My dates were all in one big large clump, as you saw. So I'm just gonna kind of break them up until they've kind of absorbed the moisture, the sugar is dissolved, you've got this kind of thicker paste. You don't want it to be super duper thick because then it's not going to spread nicely. So we are going to, it's going to take a minute, so we'll check back in. All right, so our date mixture has thickened and it's absorbed all the moisture, but it's not like stiff and, you know, kind of, it looks like almost like jam in a way, cooled jam. And so we're gonna go ahead and turn that off. Pop things over here. We're gonna stir in our chopped pecans. And a nice stir. And then we're gonna transfer this to a bowl and we're gonna let it kind of cool until it is kind of just warm. If you let it cool all the way, it will be maybe a little too stiff to try and roll out or spread out over your dough. And you don't wanna have any sort of, you know, situations with your dough. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna let this cool at room temperature because it's not that hot. Our dough still has, like, let's be honest, almost 2 hours because it took like 8 minutes. And so I'm just gonna like let this kind of chill at room temperature while I wait for my dough. You can make this ahead of time. You might want to just warm it up a little bit before you spread it in your dough. And that's it. We will check back in when our dough is ready. Right. Our dough is chilled and we are ready to roll it out and roll it up. We need a little bench flour. This dough is a little sticky. It's not crazy sticky, but you remember her from earlier. We're gonna need just a little bit. We're gonna take about 1/3 of our dough. Just kind of eyeball that. Okay. Now, this dough is cold, okay? And cold dough will crack. So just be aware of that. Grab myself a little bit more bench flour, put that on the top. Just not feeling the stickage today. So we're gonna gently kind of start rolling. We're gonna see where it is. It's cracking, so we know where it is. And we're just gonna kind of slowly start to roll it out. You could also let your dough sit out for just a little bit. And you don't want it to be super soft. You want it to be a little bit cold. You don't want, it to be like it's just gonna stick to your surface. Now, you could also roll this out on parchment if you were feeling stressed about it sticking and you wanted to make sure that it did not. Then you could do that, certainly. Now, you also have decisions to make about the size of the pinwheel that you're going to make, okay? If you want to make a fat pinwheel, you will roll it this way from the short side. If you want a thin, tiny, cute pinwheel, you will roll it from the long way. I know, these are choices. I'll let you think about it. I'm gonna also think about what we're gonna do. Oh dear, okay. I'm also gonna think about our choices now, so we don't get stressed later when we have to make these decisions. All right, now that we've done that, and I've made it sound really hard, we are going to spread about 1/3 of our filling on our dough. This is why you also don't want the dough to be super, super soft. I mean, my dough is already soft because you can't get it this thin without it being softened, but you don't want it to be, too soft or the filling will tear it. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of place it with my offset in a thoughtful manner. And that's how I am going to help myself out with the spreading process. Okay, these are little tips. Okay, so now just go ahead and give it a nice spread. It's hard because there's kind of chunks of pecans and you're like, this doesn't seem like it's gonna work. And I'm like, I know, I felt that the first time I made it too, but I promise you it will. So just trust and keep going. Now we are going to start on one side and we're going to start trying to roll it tightly. So I'm just going to kind of fold this one little edge in. Now it has no filling right at the edge, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of fold it over get the roll started. Also, rolling it on parchment will make it easier to, you know, start and finish the roll. But this dough is so beautiful that there's really no, you know, there's no need. If it sticks a little bit, you kind of just scrape it off. Maybe throw a little flour underneath it if it's really terrible. But we're just kind of, you see, I'm just gently working my way across and rolling her up. Yep, just like so. You can see where I've poked my filling through. I blame the pecans, a particularly chubby pecan right there, and then we've rolled it all the way across. Beautiful. Now, to chill or not to chill. You can totally bake this not chilled. I'm going to give it just a moment alone in the refrigerator to collect itself and to make it easier for me to cut. Right, so our little pinwheels have chilled. So just go ahead and you're gonna start slicing about, you know, 1/8 of an inch. The end is gonna be a little funny because it didn't get the filling like the rest of it did. If you are having a few issues slicing, you can also try, you can try rotating it. You can try using a serrated knife, obviously that's helping me. And then we are going to bake these in the preheated oven at 325 degrees. And the small ones are probably gonna bake 8 minutes or so, maybe depending on how fat they are, closer to 10. And then, and then the larger ones are gonna bake about 15. So we'll start checking around 6 to make sure nothing terrible is happening. Our pinwheel cookies are out. And they are just, they're in glorious form. They puffed, they looked matte, so no longer shiny, and they started to kind of get a little golden on the outside. And then we're just gonna let them cool completely, and so that they don't fall apart in our hands. It is time to try, I will say. And I'm pretty stoked about it because right now dates are my jam. Ready? The soft, chewy brown sugar cookie just pairs beautifully with that date pecan filling. The date is a little sweet, a little savory, and then it's got a little bit of crunch from the pecans, which is just a really wonderful texture when you add all of that in with the smooth, creamy dates and the soft, chewy cookie. Oh my gosh, it's just heaven. It's just heaven.